Bitcoin puts in a very meaningful move on the daily chart. Cardano not quite there yet, but getting very close. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. Let's jump into the Bitcoin Cardano video. I want to start with Bitcoin. It's a very meaningful move. We've been just talking about this bullish confirmation area for a while. And this isn't the first time, right? This move isn't the first time we've been looking for a move like this. Every lower high that we've seen in recent months really is what we've been waiting for. Bitcoin to put in a reversal, a trend reversal, a bullish confirmation. And we're just now getting that on the daily close that we just had like 42 minutes ago. And what that is, it's the Fibonacci retracement, which is, as you see on the screen already charted, it's this swing high that we had in mid-June to that swing low. And it's part of this downtrend. It's a very meaningful data point on this downtrend chart. And you can just see this Fibonacci resistance right here. And this is the worry, or this most recently was the worry, is Bitcoin putting in a lower high once again from this swing high here. And what we wait for is these Fibonacci retracements to be broken. Namely, we look for daily closes above, in this case, the 786 line right around $38,500, give or take. We got that. This is a daily close above that area. Very, very good for Bitcoin if you're watching these charts in the short term, because ultimately, what are we looking for? We're looking for that reversal and we're looking for confirmation. And this is where it starts. So I say that with a preface, which is to say that Bitcoin is in this short-term uptrend. And you can see it illustrated on the daily chart. This is a daily chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green daily candles. When we have moves like that for Bitcoin, always have to anticipate now some sideways, some consolidation, some retracement of some sort. So we have to continue tracking downside now. The first step is key, and it already has happened now. It's a close above the 786 line of the resistance. So if we want to talk about what to be prepared for in case of pullback, this is what it looks like. The swing low to swing high. And we can take this wick up here, and we can call this the Fibonacci support area all the way down here. This is possible in a bullish environment. We have 31,600 to 33,500. I know that doesn't sound nice, but this is sometimes the only way Bitcoin sees itself digging out of the holes that it finds itself in, namely these 40-50% dips, right? It's kind of a struggle to get out. It takes some higher low momentum in order to do it, and we see that tracked within Fibonacci retracements. That's not a guarantee. This is just something to look for in the downside scenario that Bitcoin gets a throwback to the upper trend line also of the descending triangle. We know throwbacks happen 60% of the time. We use this data based off of Bolkowski and the patternsite.com. I use a lot of his data. It's very reliable, and I like to be transparent about that. And that data has proved consistent in terms of these patterns and setups. So we look for a potential throwback. It's not definite that it's going to happen. We got the break above the Fibonacci. So now if we don't get the pullback, we wait, we let Bitcoin consolidate a little bit. Maybe then we get the uptrend that we're looking for ultimately to this very, very crucial area. And that is a 20-week moving average. I want to take a quick look at this clip from May 31st. Check it. Bitcoin tested that 20-week once, twice, and just kept failing at the 20-week. We want to see Bitcoin test this 20-week moving average. Doesn't matter when it is. It doesn't have to look exactly like it did entering that bear market. We just want to see Bitcoin make a move to that area. Doesn't matter when it is. This was May 31st, almost 2 months ago. We've been waiting patiently after this huge dip for Bitcoin. At the time, Bitcoin was trading around $37,000. So this is Bitcoin on the, this is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index. So this is a day behind. You see the price around 37,000. Price right now is actually 39,000. But if we're looking at the weekly chart, what we really truly are looking for is Bitcoin to test that weekly at the $44,000 area. And we can just go over to a weekly chart on the real-time charts right now, and we get a sense of where that is, right? So that weekly chart, if I'm clearing some things here, let's clear the Fibonacci, let's clear the breakout target, which is around $44,000 out of the descending triangle. You can see that weekly right there, Bitcoin in between the 50-week moving average and the 20-week moving average. It is a move that we've been waiting for. Bitcoin is going to give us a lot of answers once this 20-week moving average gets tested, and I think the markets are really going to be able to make up their mind. I've made up my mind. I've had my mind made up. We're bouncing off this 1618 line. We've been bouncing off of it, this macro long-term 1618 line, similar to the middle of the last bull market, zooming all the way out in these charts, looking back in that area. And I still think we're in the middle of this bull market. So Bitcoin's looking real good right now. Be prepared for some pullback, throwback, I guess you could call it. But in the very, very short term, this is what the chart's looking like. Bitcoin, higher highs, higher lows on the short term, and on its way to test crucial macro areas, that 20-week moving average. Let's pivot over to Cardano. This is Cardano. You know the story, everybody. We're waiting. Smart contracts, months, a couple months away, maybe even less than a couple months away. And we are in this green box leading into this Alonzo hard fork. And it's so interesting to watch Bitcoin, to watch the sentiment of crypto markets in general, and watch Cardano trade within all of that happening and within the context of smart contracts coming. It's very exciting for me as somebody that like watches the charts all the time, also somebody that's heavily invested in Cardano, to see what's getting ready to happen in the next 60 days. It's ridiculously exciting. We start digging in the intro, I basically said, Cardano not there quite yet. On the daily chart, let's take note. You can see on the daily, the 50-day moving average right around $1.33. Such a crucial area for Cardano. We've really grappled with that $1.33 area right here over and over and over again, all the way since March, end of February. That $1.03 area or $1.33 area, zooming all the way out on this daily chart, and I'm zooming all the way out, is the all-time high area of 2018. Look at that. And Cardano consolidating now in present day around this area for months. That is huge gains, building its foundation right now, leading into smart contracts on top of the ridiculous staking mechanism that Cardano already has. This launch pad, in my opinion, is ready. And I know that sounds hype. I'm not trying to hype it. I'm just genuinely excited. And this is kind of why I sound so bullish. I'm genuinely excited. Always be prepared for downside, everybody. But let's look at 6 hour. This is why Cardano's not quite there yet. Cardano hasn't broken above its own Fibonacci resistance that we just looked at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin broke above it, right? The 786, it's above that 786 of the Fibonacci retracement, the resistance. Cardano not there. And actually Cardano retracing to this upper trend line of this descending triangle that we've been tracking. And if you also want to track this falling wedge, that's in play too. It doesn't really matter. The upper trend line is the same. Cardano throwing back to that trend line right now off of the resistance. Now, what I want to say is this could be the setup for Cardano and its breakout. If we're looking at the descending triangle, the throwback rate, 60% of the time. We just talked about that in reference to Bitcoin and its own descending triangle. If we look at the falling wedge, throwback rate of 62% of the time, we see a throwback to the upper trend line. And you can just see, this is the breakout that we just had, July 25th, 2 days ago, throwback to the upper trend line. We could even get a throwback right back into this pattern, the apex of the descending triangle, or this falling wedge, whatever you want to call it. We can get a throwback into that area. Right around 60% of the time it happens, we're already getting it to the upper trend line. And in the case where we need to see support for Cardano, if we do get markets consolidating, swing low to swing high, here we go, everybody. We're looking at a 618 right around $1.15, $1.16. $1.16 down to the 786 around $1.10. That's what we're looking at for support for Cardano. However, Bitcoin making its power move above its own resistance could be a slight hint, especially if Bitcoin sees continuation to the upside in the short term, could be a slight hint that Cardano getting ready to truly turn this downtrend around and break through this short-term resistance that we've been watching on Cardano and break this extremely ugly just trend that it's been in, lower highs all across the board. Because right now we're in the lower high area right here. So lower high, lower high, lower high. If you go back to the daily chart, it's interesting to note, if you look at the momentum oscillator, Cardano's at a critical area on this RSI. We have this lower high area, upper trend line area on the RSI. I mean, that's barely a lower high from this last swing high. But each time Cardano saw that on the RSI, on that momentum oscillator, it was putting in a lower high just below the 50-day moving average, right? So right there, lower high. And then if I go back and just pull up that RSI so we can see, we have lower high right here. Cardano actually getting ready to to fall below that blue line, the 50-day moving average. And you can just see Cardano struggling right now to break this trend. But if we see Cardano make a break to the upside, breaking this trend line on the RSI, this is a big deal. And this is the confirmation we're waiting for. This is the bullish confirmation we're waiting for. We're not quite there yet, though, in terms of ADA. We have to be very patient, and just, we see these moves, right? Look at the daily. We've been in an uptrend multiple days. We don't want to get too excited. We have to wait for confirmation. That looks like breaking this resistance that you see here on the 6-hour chart, really right up to a $1.40 area. And we have a $1.31 to a $1.40 resistance. So let's see if Cardano can make the move off of this trend line back up, put in some higher highs and higher lows in the short term, make it happen. ADA, can you make it happen for all of us? Anyway, everybody, I wanted to give an update as we close out this day. Let's see what happens overnight. Hit the subscribe, comment below. Let me know how you're feeling out there. Let me know how you're doing. Hit the subscribe, the like on the way out. It means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.